In new versions of Adobe InDesign, have you noticed a new icon showing up on all of your images? I'm talking about this T in the lower left-hand corner of each of our images. If we scroll over it, we can see that it means that alt text has been applied to our photos. Now, alt text in InDesign is used for accessibility. When you export a PDF of your layout, InDesign alt text will add a description of your photos so they can be read by an e-reader. That way, your layouts can be enjoyed and understood by anyone who needs an e-reader, including those with visual impairments. But the problem is, this isn't alt text that we wrote. By default, InDesign is now adding AI-generated alt text to all of our placed images, including those that don't need it. And what's worse, it appears to use a generative AI credit each time it does it, which seems like a great way to burn through your credits at lightning speed. So how do we keep InDesign from doing this? To turn off generative AI alt text, we need to access our preferences. On a PC, we can go up to Edit, Preferences, and then go down to Generative AI. On a Mac, the instructions are slightly different. You would click on the word InDesign in your top bar, and then select Preferences, Generative AI from there. Clicking on this will bring up our Generative AI preferences. Here we can see two options. One for auto-generating the alt text, and another for adding an AI-generated content tag to that alt text. But I don't want either of these, so I'm going to shut off both of these options, and then hit OK. And now, if we place a new image using Ctrl-D or Command-D on a Mac, select our photo, and then hit Open. Now this new image comes in without that T icon, meaning it does not have any alt text. But what if we still want to give alt text to the photo? We do still want our document to be accessible. To add alt text manually, first select the photo, and then right-click, and select Object Export Options. Or we could just go up to Object, then Object Export Options in our top bar instead. Clicking on this brings up our alt text settings for our photo, allowing us to enter our own description. So we can say something like, 3 friends jumping in the air on a snowy winter day. And then we can go down and hit Done. And now that alt text will carry with that image when we export our PDF. Now you may have noticed that even though we turned off the generative AI alt text in our preferences, that did not remove all of the generative AI alt text that it already made. To edit or remove that alt text, we can just hold Alt or Option on a Mac and click on that T icon that's below each of our images. So let's try that for our logo. And here we can see InDesign didn't actually do a great job generating this text. You wouldn't want an e-reader reading this description of your logo. It's too literal and it's not even completely accurate. It wouldn't give you a good description of what you're looking at. So let's just replace that with JS Learn It logo. That's a much better description. Then we can just hit Done. Now there are also times you don't need any alt text. This background pattern, for example, it's purely decorative, so you don't need an e-reader to give a description of it. So instead, we can again hold down Alt or Option on a Mac, click on that T icon, and here we can click on this Alt Text Source dropdown. Then we can change this from Custom to Decorative Image, which will remove the alt text and treat it like a background image. Then again, we can just hit Done. So now our document is all set up for accessibility, but without all the generative AI nonsense. And now that you've mastered alt text in your Adobe InDesign layouts, did you know that you can place images in any order and even sort through or remove them at the same time? I have a video right here to show you how.